All right, you guys, welcome to tonight's call. I'm so excited you're here. We are so excited you are here, and I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to show up for your business. It's so important and so beneficial to plug into these calls, not just because of like the fact that there's things to maybe pick up on, but it's just the connection, you guys. Like this is such a bigger picture than sometimes we realize in what we're doing and even our energies and just so much that we're doing together. And I love our community and I love what we bring to Green Compass because we bring a lot to the entire company. Like our team is incredible. We're growing. We have so much impact. And I can't say it enough as to what one voice, what your voice, and what our voices together can do for Green Compass and just bringing awareness to CBD and all the things. And so we're really excited to bring this call tonight to you guys. We did a team leader in 24-hour call. I don't know, it was a while back. It's been a little bit. And I'm really excited to kind of just dive into this together. This is something you all know what most of you, I'm assuming all of you, but if not, you will go through it. But team leader is something that I always say that when you come into this business, you're excited, right? I hope that you're excited now. I mean, I'm very excited now, and I'm a year and a half in, but we carry that excitement with us, depending on our actions, depending on our momentum, but depending on our consistency and all of that. But when you come into the business, like you have this contagious, depending on your goals, you have this contagious energy, and depending on your testimony and the products and all the things, right? There's some variables, but you have this excited energy about you to share this with the world, right? Maybe you don't know what you're doing. You feel like you don't know all the things. That's okay. You don't need to. You maybe feel like I don't know what to say or whatever. That's okay. But you have the excitement, right? And we always, Lindsay and I both talk about the level of your excitement is absolutely a direct reflection of where your business is going to go. If you are feeling stuck or stagnant ever in your business, it's like almost always 100% your perspective about your energy, about your business, and your perspective about you as like a human and what you're capable of doing, right? So with that being said, the best time to build your business is when you come into this business with excitement, right? But the reason I'm talking about this is because we all didn't just get here, right? Some of us are newer, some of us have been here a while, but and maybe we lose a little bit of that. So you have the people, so you might be thinking this is like an intro call, right? This is like an intro to the business because like we all know what team leader is maybe, or like I've already hit it. Why is this important, right? So we're going to kind of break this down for everybody in every season and every space because it doesn't matter where you are in this business. This approach and this mindset and this action is going to get you to the next level each month over and over and over and over again, right? So what I was trying to say was like if you come into this business, you're excited, you try to keep that excitement and there's it's easier to build a business when you're excited. And so when you come in and you're like, all right, I'm going to sign two people, hell or high water, I'm going to sign two people, and you come in and you make it happen. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I believe today, I don't care how many advocates I've signed, I don't care how many we've all signed together. If I say right now, I'm going to enroll two people by Sunday, or I don't know, I'm just doing it. Like I've drawn a line in the sand, and it's my non-negotiable to make this happen because I want to take my business forward and because I have a lot to share and I have a lot to cover and I have a lot of conversations I want to have, right? And you see how like sometimes we have to almost like, I don't want to say convince, but we have to like paint it so that we can understand that like we can actually do this, right? It's almost, and I've used this analogy before, but I'm going to say it again. It's almost like if I said I'm going to give you $500 to get two new advocates by Sunday. I'm not giving you $500. But if I said I was, then you would be like, oh, okay, that's a no-brainer, right? But like, why wouldn't we just do this for our business? Why wouldn't we just do it? Because I don't know why I have scissors. in my hand. These are child scissors though, so they're not sharp. But I don't know why it would take that, right, to actually show up for our business and take action because we have this very profitable, incredible, massively growing, untouched, the surface is just barely scratched. So many don't know about this. Like we could go on and on about why Green Compass, why it's different, right? But it's gonna be up to our consistency and it's gonna be up to our behaviors and our mindset and our belief and our like, I don't care what it takes. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to. There was this thing that Michael shared this morning. Some of you might have saw it. It was like, I'm lacking inspiration. I'm lacking, did anyone see it? It's like, I'm lacking inspiration. I'm lacking this. But like, it's all these like negative things, right? And these thoughts that we have, but they were all crossed out. And at the bottom, it says, I am open to experience. Because the experience is what leads us to all these things. You're not going to know all the things until you're open to the experience of learning and growing, right? When we sign our first advocate, we might not know what we're doing, but we're just open to the idea that, okay, I know these products work for me and I know the benefit and I know how much of an impact they can have. It's up to me to share it. And I want to remind you guys of one thing that I think is so important. Oftentimes, we think about why us like we think about like, well, I don't know, I'm just not inspired, like today I have no creativity and I don't know what to post and everybody's saying no and I'm just like you have all these things, right? But why do we always make it about us? Like I have to tell myself this often, like, Tabitha, what if it's not about you? What if it's about these people that I can serve and these people that I can show up for today? And almost every single time, not always, but almost every single time I post and I share and I show up and I put something out there, and it might not be my best work, doesn't need to be. It's just exposure and it's just a nugget for someone to grab onto if they want. Almost every single time, I get something from it. Maybe it's an order, maybe it's somebody saying, like, hey, what's this about? Or, I struggle with this or that. And so there's been so many times I've doubted myself and I've doubted the work that I've put out there or the content or whatever or the post. And it's came back and I've been like, yeah. And someone's been like, I needed to hear that. I'm like, all right, well, I did my job because I showed up and I shared. And so, okay, so with all of that, we want to think about, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay to kind of build on this a little bit if she wants to. Um, we want to think about our business is, team leaders are rank in the company. It's your very first rank. So you come into the business, you're excited to hit it, you go for it, you fail forward, you're messy, you're taking messy action, right? And if you're somebody who's been in the business a while and you still haven't hit team leader, I want to tell you that that's okay. That you can literally relaunch your business right now and be like, all right, here I am. Like I'm going to go in. Doesn't matter how long you've been in this. This is the same work that I'm telling you to do that I'm doing. Doesn't matter. So we want to think about like with this, it's a rank in the business, but we want to think about how important this is to, for those of you who have hit it already, to hit it over and over and over again in your business every single month, which is why Green Compass has set up the 5 and 2 method for us so that we can sort of create like this benchmark, right? This is just a guideline. It's not like, oh my gosh, you have to hit it. Guess what? I'll be transparent in saying I think I had 13 or 9, maybe 9. I think I had 9 new PCs last month, okay? 9 new clients and only 1 advocate. I kept saying, I can't sign an advocate to save my life. Just because I'm just like, I put it out there. I've shared. I mean, I don't think there was another thing that I could have done last month. And I have plenty of areas that I can work on. Okay. So I'm not saying like, ooh, I did everything, but I'm just saying in showing and showcasing and sharing the business opportunity, I don't think I could have put it out there much more. I probably could have had more conversations, but regardless, my point in saying that is just like, we're not always going to hit that benchmark, right? And we don't have to like kill ourselves to do it, but we can create this idea of like, okay, if I want to continue to grow my business for the long term and the long run, then I want to do this and I want to create this kind of benchmark each month and I want to knock it out and I want to do it and I want to hit it. And then if I don't hit it, at least I set myself up to get closer than I would have if I wouldn't have set myself up, right? So if we think about the long term with our business, because I'm in the business of I want to create, yes, I want to create, but I want to bring on new people and I want to get new PCs and get new advocates, but I want to grow, and I know you guys feel this way too. We want to grow something of solid, right? Stable, like long-term sustainable growth, which we're absolutely doing. But in order to do that, we have to hit team leader. We have to hit it, and your advocates have to hit it, and we have to hit it over and over and over again like it's our job, because it is. And when we think about what it takes to hit it, sometimes it's a little more challenging than others. There's going to be months, right, where like, all right, this just doesn't seem like it's going my way, or whatever. And that's part of the test, and that's just part of our strength and learning and navigating as a leader. But it's so doable. And if we think about in 6 months where we're going to be, if we put the action in place to make team leader non-negotiable. So like this month, okay, I have a ton of new customers and I have no advocates. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm looking to shift some things because reflection is a big deal in your business. It's like, okay, where could I, what am I maybe not doing? What can I add a little bit more of my energy to? And I know what I can do for my business right now to add some energy where I think I've been lacking, and that's okay. That's good for us to look at that and honor that and be like, all right, moving forward. So with that being said, if we look at the long game and we look at our business in 6 months, and let's say even if we signed one advocate a month for 6 months, we've already got a team of 6 people, right? And if you've ever signed one person, if you've ever signed 2 people, if you've ever signed just one person, you can duplicate the process. It's so simple. We're just duplicating this over and over and over again. And then we, as advocates, are strengthening our leadership skills. And then we're going to help our teams do this as well, right? And that's where you're going to build that like depth within your income and your volume. And with the 30% increase, it's just really a no-brainer. If you're an advocate and you are getting PCs started, you're making 20% off the gate, right out the gate. And that's fantastic. But if I can earn an extra 10, there's no way I'm not going to make that happen. I mean, I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to talk to more people. I'm probably going to whatever, right? And again, I'm not saying that that's something you have to do. I'm just saying that if we want to reach that goal, we've got to look at our actions and what we're actually doing. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay to touch on all of that because I've talked enough.
Yeah, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Okay, I've got a lot of good stuff here. So, first of all, I just want to say that there are two things that we could be thinking right now. One, we have never hit team leader before, and we're like, okay, Tabitha, I'm listening to you. I need to hit team leader. I'm hearing what you're saying. I've never hit it before. Okay, this is person number one. Person number two is I've hit team leader. Maybe I've hit senior. Maybe I've hit executive. Maybe I've hit director. But I'm listening to you and you're telling me that monthly I should be duplicating it because the simple duplication and the simple organic growth of this business is to not make it heavier than it is, but allow it to be as simple as 2 more each month, right? So I want you to right now drop in the chat why you are not enrolling 2 advocates a month, what your brain is telling you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The question's asked, your brain says something, and I want to see it in the chat. Not enough conversations, because it's true. No one is showing interest, not reaching out. What was the question? The question was, I love you, Michelle. The Wi-Fi, I know it. I wasn't providing value. So the question is, why do you think you're not enrolling 2 advocates a month? Like when you say, I want to do that, and there's maybe a little hesitation, what is the word? What is the negative thing that's being said in your mind of why you're not doing that? I'm not inviting enough, not reaching out and presenting the opportunity enough. I have a hard time getting new customers, much less advocates. I'm not inviting enough. Why do you think you're not? And thank you. People aren't being receptive of it. I need to reach out more. No interest, not enough convos. I'm telling myself I talk about it too much and people don't want to hear it. Not staying consistent with my business. Okay, so what I love is every single thing that you guys said, there's a counter, I don't sentence that's literally the opposite thing. And do you want to know what the best thing is? Is that you're in control of it. You are literally in control of the reason you're not enrolling two advocates, and you're literally in control of the reason you are going to enroll two advocates. And this is why. Okay, so why I'm not hitting it. This is what a lot of people say. Number one, I don't have the time to be consistent right now. My life is just so crazy. It's hard for me. By the time the night comes, it's just poof, and I'll do it in the morning, and then I don't do it in the morning. We are always chasing time. Guess who's the only person who can change that? You, right? There's that. Number one. Number two, I just don't have enough. How many of you relate with this? I don't have enough new followers. The same people watch my stuff and like my stuff all the time, right? Number three, nobody's asking, no one's interested. Nobody's like, not everything's falling flat, right? Number three. Number four, I just don't want to pry. I don't want people to feel like I'm selling them something. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to make money. Okay. And number five, I just don't know enough. I just need to learn a little bit more first because then I'll feel better. Okay. I guarantee that one of these five things, if not all of them, have rented space for free in your brain because they have in mine as well. But what I want to tell you is that when we flip it and when we look as a person looking at, I literally wrote it down to look outside of myself. Remember when we started this call, we didn't record it yet, but I had everybody take a deep breath and shake off everything from before to literally be right here. A lot of what you shook off was this. What if you did that before you started your work for the day? What if you shook off all of that before you started intentionally talking to people and before you started intentionally adding value? What if you were just fully present and the rest of the world was away instead of trying to be like, all right, I have 5 minutes, I'm just going to do this, which is how it happens sometimes. But what if we can just take 30 seconds to shake it off and flip it to this? If I am saying these things, I'm simply not taking control with daily consistency and pops of intentionality. And I'm going to share exactly what this means. You guys, daily consistency once a day is enough for you to add bomb ass value to the entire freaking world. It's not hard. It's once a day. That is enough. You are enough. What you know is enough. Because people don't know what you know, even if you only scratched the surface. Even if you started yesterday and you learned about Green Compass yesterday and you watched the TED Talk yesterday, you know more than other people. Go add the value once a day. That is so silly. We can take all of those excuses that align with that off of this piece of paper now, right? And then also, so I'm not taking control with daily consistency and pops of intentionality. I don't have time. And please forgive me. I am a single mom. My family lives in another state. I homeschool my kids. I'm with them all the time, and I have them 80% of the time. I literally love every single one of you that say you don't have time. I'm sorry, but I don't feel for you because neither do I. But what I do have is a dream. And what I do have is an opportunity in my hands that has given me the ability to this last week while my kids had the flu, not bat an eye, and be home without worrying about a thing, to get a paycheck on the 10th into my account that will cover my entire month in every way possible until the next time we get paid on the 10th. And I don't have that because I was worried about followers or time or no one's asking or I don't want to pry or I don't know enough. I have that because I simply believe that if all of us take control with daily consistency and pops of intentionality, and I'm going to tell you about that, that's all it takes. So daily consistency, we have enough time to do that. We do. We know enough. We have value. If time is your excuse, I want you to lovingly give it a big hug for protecting you because I know what you're protecting. Your sanity, your time, your mindset, your nervous system, but you don't have to protect it from this. This is what you don't have to protect it from. Where are the boundaries you do need to protect it from? Because if we can't show up for just a minute in this business that means so much to us, then what are we showing up for that we are giving too much to that we can just step away from it? 5 minutes, right? Is all it takes. Okay. This is the pops of intentionality part. What Tabitha was saying about how she's like, I think, what if I say by Sunday I'm enrolling 2 advocates? And she's going to, right? Here's the difference between Tabitha, who says by Sunday she's going to enroll 2 advocates, and by me, who says I'm going to live life and see what happens and just do my best for the next few days. I see what happens and do my best for the next few days. Maybe I get some new followers. I don't know. Maybe I sell something. Maybe I have an advocate conversation. Maybe, I don't know. It's not really a goal of mine. So I'm just flying by the seat of my pants and allowing time to tell me what I'm capable of doing. Where Tabitha's declared what she's doing. And for a pop of time, for 3 days, for 5 days, she's intentionally going after one thing. What happens when you're on a weight loss mission and for 1 week you intentionally track your macros, track your water, get your walk and your workout in, and you go after one thing? You have success, right? That is exactly this in the business. We don't need you hustling every day to enroll all the advocates. We need you to lovingly and knowingly, with belief, add value consistently daily, putting the excuses to the side because they only exist because you allow them to exist inside of you. And then intentionally saying, okay, for the next 4 days, I want people to hear this and I'm going to do this. And then you simply do the actions to get there. So let's say that I am somebody, whether I've hit it before or whether I have not, I'm going to enroll 2 advocates the same way. I'm going to give you tips right now. Okay. Number 1, I am going to talk about the business on stories every day in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to do a reel about it every day, and I'm going to do a post about it every day. And I'm not going to care about any person who thinks it's too much because I'm not talking to them. So why do I care what they think? Good. You can move out of the way so the other people can hear, right? You talk louder intentionally for those few days, because the people that are going to hear you and who are meant to hear you in this time are going to hear you. So 1, I'm not giving a shit about if anybody cares. I'm just going. This is what I'm saying. If you don't like it, step to the side because people want to hear it. If it's not you, that's okay. You'll be back, right? That's how I kind of think. So that's number 1. So number 1, I'm going to get loud. I'm probably going to even do a live on my Facebook or my Instagram, making sure I'm trying to keep it short, something people would watch, but something that's emotional as to leading with the problem, like Bob taught us, of what, and then what this has given and how this is the place to be. And I'm going to paint this vision just like this everywhere. It is the time for holistic health in the last 4 years after the pandemic and people opening their eyes. It is the time for this business. We're in the 6th year in the part of the S curve where we are literally doubling every year, and it's amazing. It's the time for this team because we are led by multiple 6-figure earning, business smart leader women. But not only that, every person on this team that enrolls yesterday, today, to the people who have started this, the mission is different here because you won't often hear people talk about money. It's all about the impact and the sharing, right? Even at the top. So it's the time for this company. It's the time for the industry. It is the time for holistic health, and it is the time for this team. And in 2025, it is the time for multiple streams of income. Literally, that is how I'm going to talk about it, right? So that's my strategy number one. Strategy number two, my time, I am going to set boundaries with people. And you guys, I will get firm with my children. Like, I love you. I do everything for you all day long. I need an hour. I'm locking my door. If it's not an emergency, don't come in. If that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. Even on the final day, it was our 1 year anniversary celebration and it was the last day of the month. And I was working half of my date night with Jay. He was not upset because I expressed to him and he knew the importance and he just is really cool like that. But even when you express what it means to you, like the people that you need to set boundaries with to be able to take that space and feel okay with it, a lot of times it's not even them that cares about the boundary. It's us feeling guilty that we're not giving and it's us people pleasing. But let us please ourselves and our business too, right? Okay. The other thing is no new followers, the same people, no one's asking, no one's interested. That's because we're not going out to them. So if I don't have people commenting and liking and storying, that doesn't matter to me because I am not, if I throw a party at my house this weekend, I can't just throw some stuff up on social media and then be sad if no one comes. I've got to intentionally tell, you know, somebody in my neighborhood that I like. I don't know. So I gotta intentionally tell somebody that they should come and another person they should come, and Oliver and Owen better invite some friends to come, and maybe I want to tell my family they should come. If I don't tell these people they should come, why are they gonna come? So often we think like, let me just put more content out and then people will come. If I build it, they will come. That is true. But you have so much more control because if you build it and you speak it and you invite to it and you put signs up and you tell the people like this is where the place to be, it's quiet for a while. Have you guys seen Field of Dreams? No one comes at first. But time after time, when they start seeing more and then people start coming and the social proof starts coming, before you know it, you have a whole bleachers full of people. But it starts with you, your belief, you getting out of your way, not relying on people coming to you, not relying on excuses that I love you because I have to. And so I hope I'm a little bit of a hard ass. And it's because I used to be not this way, but single motherhood in this last 4 years, and I know Michelle can understand, it makes something out of you that you never knew you could be. So I'm a little bit of a hard ass now because I'm like, trust me, I'm dying almost all day long sometimes, and these products in this business are a gift. And if I can do this, I know you can too. Because we're all busy. We all can fill all the time with all the things, right? So, not that anyone has it harder than the other, but it's just like reflecting and being like, we can all do this. So, what I want to tell you is, and ask you is, can you shake off all the things that you're allowing yourself to sit on and be the deciding factor from now until the end of the month? Maybe you give yourself a 3 day sprint on the business and then you consistently add value for 7 days. And then you give yourself a 4 day sprint on the business and you consistently add value for a few days. That is how you hit team leader. That is how you enroll advocates. That is how it will happen. So, sorry about that. I went off on like a whole tangent, and so, but we have lots to say. So with that being said, let me see, I know that we had like this here. Tabitha, did you have something to say on that?
No, I think that's good. I think it's great. I think everybody can take a look at like we can all look at where we can create more space for ourselves to work and where we can create more boundaries. And, it's just so doable for every single person, even though our lives are all different, but it's all very similar in what we have to do. No, I think that was great. I mean, I feel like I don't know if we want to go into like just more of the action piece of it because then it's like you might be like, okay, but what? Right. And I think this is honestly a hard question because yes, we can give you all the things. Like we have the action steps. We can say like, okay, we have the tracker that we've shared in the team page. Like there's so many things that you could do. But like Lindsay said, I don't know where, like exactly how she said it, but I always think about, like, I think she said, if you, like when she was talking about if you build it, they will come. Well, if we build it, if you think about the pieces that are in the boards and all the structure, right, that makes this thing that we're building like solid, it's not just, I always think about covering ground. Like, okay, if I'm going to cover a lot of ground in my business today, and some days I don't cover a lot of ground because I'm busy and I have other obligations, but there are days where I can cover more, but it takes multiple things and exposures. And so often advocates come in and they're like, all right, they're excited. They're pumped. They share about it for a week, maybe two, maybe a month. And then they're like, all right, this just isn't working, right? Or whatever. Instead of like, okay, how's my structure? Like, what do I need to look at that can like be strengthened? Is it my conversations? Is it my stories? Is it my posts? Am I leading with the business, or am I never talking about the business ever? Or am I talking about the product once a week and then next week nobody knows I'm a Green Compass advocate. Ain't nobody knowing I'm doing anything. And we think people know, but guess what? I'm over a year and a half in, and I've had at least, I would say, 6 people this week that have came to me out of the blue. Hey, I've been watching your stuff on Green Compass and I want to know. And I've never even invited them. All right. How many people have I missed? A lot. There's a lot of people. I always say this, but there's people walking everywhere outside our door that need these products. And we get behind this and we think, okay, all right, nobody liked my post or what, like we just create the story around it. And I have a story that I'm going to share that I've created in my head that I just got out of my head about. I have trouble doing local events, and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm from a very small town. I feel like I've been sharing this for a long time. I've been in the social media presence. People know what I'm doing. I feel like sometimes like, okay, I'm from a town of 1,000 people, born and raised. I cleaned everybody's teeth in the county. So I'm like, everybody knows like if I'm probably friends with them on social media. Like, is anybody really going to show up to this physical place to see my stuff? And that's like a limiting belief. And so I planned this event at a local salon, and I have so much interest in it. And my mind is blown. Like, I collaborated with her. She's excited. I gave her samples today to try the product so that she can be the one person that's there that has tried them and kind of give a little bit of a testimony. And I created the event today. I created the graphic I shared with you guys. And I have like so many people either interested or going to the event. And I haven't even hardly like, I did one post and I did a few invitations. So my point in saying that is, I don't care how long you've been in the business or been doing this or are, maybe skilled in something, you're going to get in your head about something. And the only way to get out of it is to churn it around and change the story about what it is and do it anyways. And how many people am I going to get to come into contact with that I would have never maybe, even though they live around me? I'm not out walking the streets. I'm behind this. So I'm not going to see some of these people, right? And so many people we downplay, and I'm going off on a whole tangent, but I just hope that this inspires you to think outside the box and to think outside of you're just one person, human, doing this on your phone, and how many connections the people, like I got a referral today. A girl reached out to me. She said she added me on Facebook. I know who this girl is, but I don't know her. She's like, hey, someone told me to reach out to you. My daughter's struggling. She's struggling with some behavioral issues, and someone told me that the CBD that you have could help. I don't know who told her, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you messaged me. Like, how incredible. And so we downplay and discount the like relationship, like we might know people, but who do they know? And we downplay like this big network it's not even big. It could be small, but it's big when you start working outside and start doing different things. And so when you think about back to the whole building and what we're building, when we think about the pieces of the house or the whatever you want to call the structure that we're building, it's like all of those pieces. It's the conversations, it's the samples, it's the asking for referrals, it's the do you know somebody that would benefit from this because this mission is, so impactful. It's the posts, it's the stories, it's the conversations, it's so many things. And so that's why that will get you to team leader. That will duplicate that over and over again, because if you don't shut up about it, and I really recommend you don't, people will continue to come to you and you'll think, just like me, like everybody knows about it. I've already shared it so many times. Like, and there's times where I share a lot, and Lindsay's, I know we're all this way. Like, there's times where we're kind of heavy, we're laying it on kind of thick. And other times we kind of like back away just a little. We're still there, we're still active and consistent, but that's okay. Like that's just the way it is. But I think we should never not be excited about this, like that's the point and that's the purpose. And to think that there's some days where I have so much I want to share, like that I think, what can I share today? But then there's other days where I'm like, I don't know what to share today because I'm like feeling like my brain is mush and I ain't got nothing to offer anybody. And that's not true, but like some days you're just more creative than others, and you're gonna have that too. Okay. All right. So do we want to break into this action piece? And then I know you have the document, Lindsay, so like maybe we don't need to go through the whole thing, but whatever you want to do with that.
Yeah, I can pull it up here. What I also want to say is that this was a lot and we just both laid it on heavy. But only because we believe in you and we want you to take it off of the pedestal that we've all put it on, because it's not as hard as we make it seem in our head. It's like me calling the doctor. I freaking hate making doctor's appointments. I'll put that shit off for a whole week and then I finally call. It takes 10 minutes. I was like, what the heck? That's this. This is this. It's just being intentional, talking to the people. And I'll also do this. I'll be like, who right now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do I know that I'm just like, gosh darn it, Natasha, watch this, call on this opportunity right now. You're my best friend and you're going to watch it and you're going to love it and you're going to join us. I would never talk to her or anybody that way. But you know what I mean? You guys can approach your close friends, your best friends, your brother's friends. Like Abby, I remember was talking to like her kids' friends because they're adult kids. And like you can just say there's those people that you can just revisit and be like, listen, will you just watch this and give me some feedback? Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. But can you just please do this? Because you can do that. So whenever I'm trying to enroll advocates and it's like that 3-day sprint for me, I'm also intentionally getting in those people's messages again because sometimes it takes 7 to 11. And Aubrey is on, Aubrey Billups, she enrolled this week. We've been talking probably since I started, right? But there were different things going on, this and that. She was ready, then things would happen. Life, that's just how it is. Her interest was always there and real, but consistently I'd check in on her every once in a while. And eventually it was the right time. She actually reached out this last time, like, okay, I'm ready. So don't feel like you continuously asking people makes them feel too much because Aubrey, we both went to the same town, the same school. So she knows that I'm not trying to lay anything on. She knows I care and I'm just doing my due diligence because I know she's interested and I'm just here to help whenever you're ready. So also just kind of have that mindset. But let's go ahead and break into the action real quick. Oh, can I share? Oh, yay. Okay. So let me see. Where did I open this? That would be the thing to do. Hopefully it'll let me share. That was it. Okay. So I shared this the other day. No one hopped on the action hour and it was a blessing because so often we do action hours and they're amazing, but they don't can you guys see that? Yeah? Okay. But they don't like they're long and then people it's like we'll just work along following this, but then if you really only have pockets it's kind of hard to do that. So nobody jumped on. Eventually Abby did and then Kaylee did, and I just was like, I asked them both like, what do you guys think about this, and this is what I'm going to run with and let's do it. So we created this outline, and then I did a video on it too, kind of breaking it down. Like, what is the action and what is the consistent action? Is this? And then in your 3 days, like I would look at your calendar as a whole and be like, okay, in the beginning of the month, I'm doing a 3-day sprint sharing about the business, maybe. maybe like before the 10th, maybe the week before the end of the month, like 3 or 4 times is when I'm going to kind of really dig in and be like, all right, I'm enrolling someone this week. All right, whatever it is. But these are the power pockets, and your intentionality behind them says what you're sharing. So, pocket number one, and I go into all this in the video, and the video's at the bottom. But first and foremost, they're like this for a reason. How many of you, when you get on your phone, you just need to check your notifications and you need to clear out things before you can do anything else for the day? That's how I am. Like I can't just jump into inviting. Like I can't I can't just jump into connection. So I'll clear out these things so that when I come back for my second one, I'm able to make a post and show up and add value and share in my stories. I gave a few different hooks that you could use, some call to actions that you could use. The third pocket, you come in and you can connect. Some people you might be engaging with that just commented on your post from earlier, or maybe it's from the post before or whatever, but just authentic, simple conversations. Number four is like your big pocket, and number five, where you're doing your intentional reach outs. Emily actually shared these, Emily Ritzer, and I just kind of copy and pasted them and put them in here. But they're good for if you're just directly asking, if it's an influencer that you're asking. I don't find it bad when people, like, I just reached out to somebody who was with Shackley today. I don't know her, but I love her content and we've talked back and forth. And I said, I know you, I can tell you love Shackley and I love what you share. I love how you share. I don't know if you're at the place in that company where you're not allowed to do more than one business, but I think you would rock it here. Also, I don't know if this, or if you're not happy there. I mean, if you're willing to talk about this, please know this is just coming out of my like love and adoration for you. No pressure, but is this something you'd be willing to talk about? She actually shared she's very happy where she is, but she was very flattered and whatever. And we moved on and we're still friendly. Like, that's okay. That's a win. What if a year down the road she changes her mind and she remembers this conversation, right? But anyway, there's some invites, then follow ups with some follow up language, and then a reel. Um, this is where some of you are doing reels and some of you are not, and that's okay. But I would get some people are, I just don't know how. There's a YouTube and Chat GPT for anything. Like you can definitely figure that out. The reel with some different hooks there as well. And then pocket number seven, at the end of the night, I'm emptying my inbox or, whatever I can and checking in on advocates and customers. This is the video where I go deeper into how to do all of this. But this is the action, you guys. And so for me, sometimes I make it through all of this in a day. Sometimes I only make it to the follow-ups. So then the next day, I either start at the beginning again, or I might go to, I don't know where the follow-ups just went. I might go to where I left off and then just like keep filtering back around and around, whatever really feels good to you. But taking action in this way, it's a rinse, lather, repeat. You always know you're hitting all the things, whether you're hitting it like Tabitha said, one day maybe is just a few things. The next day, there's more time that she can get through things. But that's the consistency. And then when you're in that space where you're like, I'm hitting team leader, I'm intentionally talking to people, I'm intentionally sharing, I'm intentionally posting, I'm intentionally storying, I'm reaching out, then all of this, none of this changes. Just the intention of where it's going changes. So, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's really helpful. You'll share that, Lindsay, I mean, I know you've already shared it, but maybe we'll just go ahead and share that again, either in the chat or in the team page too, if we haven't already shared it there. Because I think at the end of the day, it's just whatever you guys want to do to create the action steps. Like there's 100 different ways, but it doesn't matter unless you're doing something, and building on what you're doing. And I think that's the big thing too, is as a newer advocate or an advocate that's just kind of getting started and getting your, like, maybe you've never done anything like this before. This is also new. It's great to just do the one thing and then continue to build on that each day or every few days, and allow yourself to kind of like evolve in that way, because we didn't get here, overnight. It's taken a lot of different trial and error and figuring out what works and what doesn't. Okay, so let's kind of close and go into the incentive. that we wanted to do. So I shared the incentive this morning. And here's how I think we're going to do this. I was trying to think of a good way. Like it's just going to kind of be an honor system here because I mean, yeah, I can see who we can see who's enrolled advocates and stuff. But with your PV, so this challenge is going to start right now. We will retro it back to this morning, okay? Because we shared about it. So starting today, whatever you did today, if you accomplished a sale, whatever, that's going to count. So from today to the end of the month, okay, there's this challenge we're going to do as a team leader challenge. We're rallying for you guys. We're here for you. Please pull us in. If you have, I can't stress this enough. If you have somebody that you think would be good and you want them to be a part of this and you would love to work with them, they're maybe holistic minded. That doesn't matter. I'm just giving some examples. Maybe have done some type of direct sales before. Maybe they were sort of have a bitter taste in their mouth from a previous experience and you'd love for them to share, to understand what it's like to be here. You think that they would just love the products. They like cannabis in general. Like there's so many people that benefit from this. Okay, let's break it down. Anyway, please bring us into the conversation if you want to. I'm just saying we would be happy to paint the picture, to help share, to give you tools, to send videos that we normally would. And a great way to learn is to learn from us. Not that we know everything, but just that it's just a way for you to pick up on nuggets that we share when we're talking to people and to prospects. So with that being said, we're going to put this graphic in the team page. Now, I want everybody who watches this recording and that's on the call tonight to please go comment with your current PV that you have right now. This will just be a good way to like kind of track like, okay, if you're starting at like you have 100 right now, okay, the PV goal is 500 in sales by the end of the month, then you will comment when you're done, like when you've achieved that. Or even if you want to comment every time you get an order, that's great. I think that's fantastic. So we can rally and cheer you guys on. So with that, we're putting that out there and then we're going to draw based on, but we wanted to offer because it's not everything to sign advocates, okay? Like there are so many wins to be had beyond enrolling advocates is fantastic, okay? We know you can do it. We're here to rally with you to do that. But getting new PCs, oftentimes those are the people that are going to become your advocates because they're going to love the product so much. So it's all a win. We wanted to create like two wins to rally for because they're both equally as important. And then we will have two winners. And I love these so much. Both of these. I'm like, they're so good. Okay. Any questions? Really quickly. I feel like we took a little longer than we might have planned to do, but I feel like that was good. And I hope that you guys are feeling in a place to just step out of the place that you're in and just take that other step, whatever that looks like, and be really proud of yourself for doing that. You know, there's so many wins beyond always a sale and enrolling an advocate. It's those wins that you have each day with your action and be proud of yourself for that's going to lead you to the sales and the people. All
Yeah,
right.
I would love to if you could drop in the chat right now, look at your calendar really quick, and when are you going to say that you have one advocate by, and when is your second advocate? I'm going to say, because then that gives you some times of consistency, and then like Michelle said, like you don't have to burn out. It's like a few days focused on that, and you're really grinding, and then you're sharing just like your natural organic thing. So for me, I'm going to say I'm going to have two advocates by the 22nd, only because I know what my weekend looks like. And that gives me next week from like Tuesday to Saturday to buckle down on two. And QV or total? One advocate by Sunday. Nice. I like that. What do you mean by QV or total? Oh, for the
Maybe the QV. Okay. Um, Well, yeah, or you could just say like the amount that you're shooting for too, like whatever goal that is for you personally. I mean, obviously the goal is to get to 500. and then to get 2 advocates. But what maybe you're just like, okay, I'm gonna have half of the 500 by whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you look in your back office and you go under key performance indicators, it says personal sales, and that's the number you're looking at. So not total sales because that's team and everything. It's that personal sales number. So like right now I'm at 1098.6. So I'm going to go put that and my goal would be then to be at 1598.6 by the end of the month. My goal is like to have that in a week because this is my full thing, right? So my goal is going to look a little different, but that's how that would work.
And I also would advise you guys too to like we can say what we want until the cows come home, but until we make it until we're like, okay, tomorrow I'm carving out like I have this window of time and this is when I'm going to do this. Because we can get hyped up on this call and we can all get hyped and then tomorrow comes and we're like, ah, shucks. I like didn't get my window in, right? So like designate the time that you're going to take tomorrow and when's that going to be and what are you going to do in the time? Because the best thing that you could do for yourself, and I am guilty of not always doing this, is having the plan in place so that you're not sitting down and you're like, okay, I have the 20 minutes. All right, what am I going to do? Because now I'm like, my head's spinning and I don't know where to begin because I didn't create a plan. And so it's just like, and it doesn't have to be a big plan. It could be literally like, okay, I have this, like, I'm going to post about tomorrow, I'm going to talk about Green Compass and why I joined. Or tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a solution that Green Compass has given me that ties in with my story because I want to tell a little bit of a story, right? Like that's a whole other call, but like to deepen the trust with your audience, you have to tell a story and it has to relate to like how Green Compass and why Green Compass. And so anyway, create that time and let's make sure that because that's the accountability behind this, right?
All right, I love it. Pull us into conversations. Ask us when you need help. If you're stuck on something, ask. There are YouTubes and ChatGPT, but if you can't find it, ask us. We can point you to a training. We can try to help. However, we can schedule that pop-up. Whatever it is that you know, like, okay, there's this thing I haven't been doing, and that's the thing I need to do. You already know what it is. Go do the thing, and we're going to celebrate with you when you do the thing. Whoop, whoop. All right. Yes, Kim, positivity. That girl, oof. That's one that is like a constant battle, but it's the winner all the time. All right, let's go ahead and do a boomerang. If you guys want to pop onto your screen, you can. If you don't, and that's fine. I'll share this in the team thread and then you can share it on your stories. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I love it. I'll put that in the team thread. You guys are awesome. Um, Here we go.
Thank you guys for getting on. Good night.